Welcome at the new edition of the Market Reporters. With every week we give our, we share our experiences with our investors of the last week.
Exactly.
And what we saw
happened,
in the news.
what we heard.
Yeah, because we talk to investors the whole day long, and I think
it's pretty busy these weeks, to be honest.
Yeah, and of course it's all about the vaccines. You're going to talk about the vaccines.
Yeah.
Just give it a shot.
Yeah, we put a quote on Instagram and we asked people to whether it's the right moment or is it too late to step in the vaccine companies or the pharmaceutical companies that bring out those vaccines. Of course, we all know that. I think if you read the newspaper, you see the news. There's three main players. No, you have Pfizer, Moderna, and AstraZeneca. They are the furthest in the process of the phase 3 trials. There's a lot of hope, and hopefully we will get the vaccine soon, and we can win this situation with the COVID virus. But when it comes down to prices on the stock market, there might not be that much fantasy left in those three companies. But there are two companies that are still in process of getting into stage 3, and that's what those two companies I want to talk with you today about. It's CureVac, it's a Dutch company. And it's Novavax. If we start with CureVac, it came on the market. They did an IPO in August, and it went up 56%. So it's not that long ago that they started having a listing on the stock market. And the good thing about CureVac is that if you look at the effect when you inject it, it's a protein you inject in your body. You start making antibodies, and apparently the antibodies or the amount of antibodies that is being developed in your body by injecting this specific vaccine is the highest. So more than the Pfizer, more than Moderna, and more than AstraZeneca. What is good about this company? They have 225 million doses pending to deliver to the European Union at 10 euros per doses, and 300 million doses for this year. And
this month?
Not this month.
Oh, this
Yeah, well, that's actually a good question. Because I saw it in the article, 225 million for this year. But how can it be? Because there's only 1 month left.
Yeah, that is all.
And they haven't gone into stage 3. Maybe it's an order list or something.
Okay, probably. Yeah.
300 million for next year and 600 million for 2022. Important, they're backed by Bill Gates and Melinda, and also by the German government. So, interesting, I think, to follow this. It's a small company that they are going to go into stage 3 very, very soon. If you look at Novavax, if you would invest $1,000 in Novavax this year, how much would you have now?
More.
Yeah, more. You would have 25,000 US dollars, which I think is an amazing investment, of course. I mean,
there's already a lot of.
There's a lot of
fantasy in.
But if you look at the potential, they received $2 billion of funding, also by the Bill Gates Foundation. They have only 176 pre-orders from the UK, Canada, and Australia. 176 million, what did I say?
You didn't say million.
176 million pre-orders in the...
but the stock, why went the stock up that much? Then?
Because it was one of the first that started announcing it. And what is important is that the biggest investment for Novavax itself is ahead of them. They're going to produce, they claim the production of 2 billion doses with the Indian Serum Institute, which is the largest producer of vaccines in the world. So if they're gonna, with 7.4 billion people on the planet, they're gonna produce 2 billion vaccines. You can imagine how the scale of that operation and the potential that it might give.
And you see that also in the stock price, because it went up in the last 2 weeks from 90, 80 something dollars to 150.
Yeah, it's insane.
But you should keep in mind that this is a stock that goes up on average like 10% on one day, and then it loses 10% on the other day. It goes up, so it's really volatile.
Extremely volatile.
So it's you must have
It must be cautious because it's something that you need to be able to cope with.
But indeed, there are two interesting companies that you don't hear that much in the news. No. And you see how important it is nowadays, because on Thursday the stock markets ended flat in Europe, except the FTSE Top 100 that gained 1.5%, and that was after the UK approved Pfizer and BioNTech to use in so it has influences on whole stock markets nowadays. So it's really interesting to follow. Yeah. Today we do this every Friday, so today it's Friday, and last week it was also Friday, but last week it was Black Friday.
Yeah.
And I looked into the figures, and the amount of online sales of last Black Friday was the second best day ever measured of online sales.
Do you know? I'm just going to ask. Do you know the percentage of increase compared to last year? Did you find it out? Or?
Yes, I know that was 21.6% more.
Yeah, because I had an interesting article that in Africa the e-commerce is growing by 23% on a quarterly basis.
Okay, quarterly on quarterly.
Quarterly, 23%.
So this was 21.6% more
in
online
developed
sales.
markets.
Yeah, than a year ago. And the day with the most online sales was Cyber Monday last year. I don't have the figures yet of Cyber Monday this year, but they expected also a growth. And for example, the amount of purchases was $9 billion. And they expected between 10 and 11 for this Monday. And if you look at, for example, what kind of companies, of course, they do it a lot through eBay, Amazon, but also Shopify. That's
a platform that facilitates online shops, right?
Yeah. For more like smaller shops that use it, it's really easy to use. And that went up. You said, okay, that stock price that you mentioned that went up.
2,500%.
Yeah, and this was only Shopify's only up this year with 175%.
Yeah.
What also interesting to mention is the price per purchase went up with 11% to an average of $91. That's quite high, I think. But also what's interesting to see that the mobile sales was 67% and 33% was desktop. And last year it was 69 mobile and 31 desktop. So a little bit less mobile. And that's on the contrary, you see everything on mobile is going up.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think, in my opinion, it is because last year people were on the job,
on the work,
on the work with the mobile, buying some in secret on the toilet, buying some stuff. And now they're sitting at home, and it's better to, of course, do it
on your desktop computer. Yeah, absolutely.
So that was funny, I think. Interesting. A lot of online sales.
Very, very interesting. I mean, I just want to hook on one thing because I think you see this sector of online e-commerce is growing tremendously. You know, we all know Amazon, we all know eBay and all the other ones. But I found a stock, and actually I promised a client that I spoke with that I was going to touch it today, so I want to treat it. It's Jumaya Technologies, and Jumaya is the African largest e-commerce, and it came on the market this year.
You can compare it to.
It's a combination of, it's a combination of like
Alibaba?
Shopify, Alibaba, Amazon. So they do first line sales and third party sales. So it's going to be like.
And do they also do the payments?
A very good question, because one of the biggest problems in Africa, of course, the infrastructure. Yeah. So they introduced Jumaya Pay, which is backed by Mastercard.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, it's really interesting. So, and the company went up this year already 400%. But it's still under. It came on the market for $48. Now it's listed approximately around 33.
Which stock market?
It's on the American stock market, on the Nasdaq.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nasdaq or Nasdaq, I'm not 100% sure. But the price targets of this stock are over $100, and of course it's very much depending on what will happen with the infrastructure in Africa. But I think it's one of those stocks that you have.
And did your client buy it in the past? Or he's looking at it?
No, he had position, and it called my attention because hey, this is a really interesting thing.
Yeah.
And they are really investing in also the war on cash in Africa. Of course, the money and payments is very little developed. So they are, despite the pandemic, they're still a little bit behind on growth and everything.
Yeah, but they make bigger steps.
They make, of course, huge steps.
Yeah. Especially also for their 5G will be a great step forward. Yeah. Okay, also online, Kraft Heinz is going to deliver food directly to the end user, to the customer, to you and me. Yeah. And DoorDash is planning now, they announced with IPO, and they're probably valued around $64 billion. And I think the whole week was in the news, the oil price. Yeah. Because the OPEC Plus, first they had the plan to come together on Monday and decide on the producement figures after the 1st of January, but they postponed it to Thursday because they didn't. I also a little bit strange because they have a meeting on Monday where they're going to discuss and decide it, they postponed the meeting because they didn't agree yet. So they agree already before the meeting, and so the meeting is only a formality.
That doesn't make a lot of sense. Yeah.
But then they agreed to increase the production a little bit from the 1st of January, but only for January. So they only plan 1 month up front, and then every month they're going to look and decide together. So it's for them also a lot of more work to create consensus within the Open Plus. But they're going to look at it from on a monthly basis. So only a little bit increase, but it also depends. If you look at Russia, for example, their break-even point of oil is much lower than Saudi Arabia. So there are big different influences in that market. And you saw that also with the oil price. It went up and it went down. First it went down when they announced that they postponed the meeting, and then when they agreed on it and the market accepted it, it's good. Okay, it went up. And it's also a little bit hand in hand with the dollar. It's now 121. So the dollar is getting weaker in the last week against the euro, and a big reason can be is that if you have uncertain situations, people go into the dollar, and now it's less uncertainty in the market, so people go out of the dollar again. So that can be an
safe haven.
Yeah, safe haven. Apple was in the news. It was only a small. I saw it, and a client mentioned it to me that Apple was in the news because there is a consumer organization in Europe, and they going to sue Apple for the fact that they say that Apple installs software in the older versions, in the older iPhones, so the 6 and the 7, that makes them much
the battery lasts a little longer. Less longer.
And I think if that's true, then it's really a case. And if they win that case, they for sure they will go to the US.
Yeah, it's similar to Dieselgate with Volkswagen.
Yeah. So I think next time or the time after that one, we have a closer look at Apple, because Apple is valuated also high. The stock price went up, but if you look at the outlook, that is not that positive.
No.
So I think it's good to focus on this news, because this can be big, especially when the Dieselgate thing. So if you have Apple in your portfolio,
I find
should
it
follow
always
this.
surprising that they keep coming up with these new phones, new models. Because I think a year ago something, they mentioned that they were going to go into, I have to find the right word in English.
Or you mean software?
No,
from
software-wise, but they were going to offer a service for people that have an iPhone. For now, for example, we have the iPhone 11 or 12, but that you can upgrade your 6. They will in the Apple stores have a service for people that don't have the money to change. And now this is something that is a bit.
But they do have a service that if you have an iPhone, says you bring it in, you get money for it, and you can with a discount buy another one.
You can buy absolutely, but also.
And you can also let it restore.
Yeah.
But of course, for them, it's the 5G thing. So all the iPhones.
They need to do something.
Yeah. So that's on the contrary, they will have a boost in the sales when the 5G network is rolled out all over the world.
Absolutely.
But it's for all the phone producers. Some not that important news, but quite funny, because we are from Holland and Heineken is the Dutch beer producer, and they announced that they are going to sell Amstel in China.
Yeah.
And I think that will give a boost, because Heineken is a premium in Holland. It's like another beer. It's not they don't sell it as a premium, but everywhere abroad they sell it as a premium.
No, it's true. Yeah.
And in Holland, the price difference between Heineken and Amstel is not that big, but all around the world there is a bigger price difference. So that's
Heineken is in the range of Corona, and it's only like $3.50 or something.
It's completely a marketing brand. So I'm really curious how they're going to do it, how they're going to put it in the market in China.
But in the Netherlands, it's not. I'm not, because I'm away quite a long time from the Netherlands. Now you as well. But is it not like that? It was in the Netherlands. You had then it went down a little bit. Initially, it was like an all day long beer, and then it.
All day long beer.
Yeah, like but one of those typical beers that you drink when you have a football play, and then after in the canteen you drink Heineken.
Yeah.
Right? But I think it then disappeared because the Belgian breweries took over. Everybody was in the canteens were drinking Jupiler and those things.
Yeah,
and now I feel in the Netherlands, a bottle of Heineken is it feels to me always
also a little bit of premium
as a valuable beverage.
Yeah,
but hey, that's personal opinion.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm sensitive for their marketing,
Yeah,
because I think also their marketing campaigns are done really, really nice.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
they always play in the feeling, and also now with Corona, with the be careful.
Yeah, that's. I watched Ajax this week. I
Yeah.
think it was Tuesday, and Heineken is one of the three sponsors, I think, of the Champions League. So you see Heineken all the time. What they do, they only promote 0.0.
Yeah.
And that's quite special around football.
Yeah.
But I watched also the other games, and I think it was after 11. I saw an advertisement of Heineken with a normal beer.
The place of which the results were already known.
Yeah, yeah. So I think they play it quite well, you know, to focus on the 0.0.
I agree with you.
And the 0.0 is better. It's getting better every time. It's almost like a normal beer. Okay, we made a sidestep, and to close down with some positive news. After 1.5 years, the Boeing 737 MAX had its first commercial flight this week.
Would you fly with it?
I don't. Yeah, of course. I think
I'm scared about it. I'm honest.
Yeah, but if you look in that sector, if they approve that it's safe,
Yeah.
I think it's safe.
Yeah. You might be right.
Stay safe. See you next time. Thank you for watching.